What are the barriers to effective communication? A barrier to communication is something that stops communication happening or makes communication less effective. There are a number of barriers to effective communication. Some barriers to communication include poor explanations, poor spelling and grammar, incorrect language, technology issues, poor structuring of information, use of jargon, technical language or slang, lack of understanding. If communication is not received or understood properly, the result may be reduced business efficiency and mistakes. Ineffective communication may also confuse customers or stop them receiving a message, which can ultimately impact a business's sales and profitability. Businesses use organizational structures to illustrate roles and responsibilities. Organizational structures show who each employee reports to in their job. What are the ways employees can work? Part-time, full-time, and flexible hours. Employees usually work in one of three ways when they are employed by a business. These are on a part-time, full-time, or flexible hours basis, which basis usually depends on a mixture of business requirements and the requirements of employees. What is full-time employment? Full-time usually refers to an employee working more than 35 hours per week, often spread over 5 days each week. Full-time employees work in all job roles. Examples of roles that include full-time employees are teachers, office workers, pilots, police officers, doctors, and nurses. What is part-time employment? Part-time refers to an employee working for only part of the working week, or anything less than full-time. Often, a part-time employee may work for 2, 3, or 4 days a week. Part-time employees work in all industries, but are commonly found in the retail industry, where a shift role may only be required on certain days or times. What is flexible hours and 0 hours contracts? Having flexible hours is a more modern way of working. Employees are given a set number of hours to work in a week, month, or year, but get to choose when they work. For example, a business might let employees start work any time between 7 in the morning and 10, then, depending on start time, finish between 3 in the afternoon and 6. Flexible hours. Workers may work any number of hours up to full time, so they may be either full or part-time. Flexible hours are often beneficial to both businesses and employees, as offering flexible working can lead to higher staff retention and better productivity, while also providing employees with flexibility in their personal lives. Some businesses have begun offering flexible hours in the form of 0 hours contracts. In a 0 hours contract, an employee has no specified number of hours per week. Instead, they are given work when the business requires them. This is beneficial to the business as it fills business shortages. It also provides employees with a lot of flexibility, but it can lead to uncertainty about whether they will get any work, and they may not receive a regular income. Businesses use organizational structures to illustrate roles and responsibilities. Organizational structures show who each employee reports to in their job. What is permanent, temporary, and freelance contracts? When workers are given a job by a business, their work is agreed according to one of 3 different types of contract. The contract types are permanent, temporary, and freelance. Permanent contracts. A permanent contract is one that has no fixed end date. The employee may stay within the business until either they decide to leave or the job role no longer exists. Permanent contracts are suited to certain types of more stable, long-term job roles, such as nurses, pilots, and teachers. Temporary contracts. A temporary contract is one that has a specific end date, where the worker is only employed for a certain period of time. Temporary contracts are very common within the retail industry and in other industries with seasonal demand. For example, a high street shop would require more staff over the Christmas period, so it would employ staff on temporary contracts. Freelance contracts. A freelance contract is usually one where a self-employed individual is engaged to carry out a specific piece of work over a defined period of time. The period of time is sometimes very short. Freelance work is very common in the creative industries, such as when a business needs an advertisement, promotional photographs, or a new logo. Businesses use organizational structures to illustrate roles and responsibilities. Organizational structures show who each employee reports to in their job. What is technology, efficiency, and remote working? Technology has had a huge impact on how businesses operate and how employees work. Two of the main ways it has changed businesses are increased efficiency and remote working. What is increased efficiency? Increased efficiency means that a business is able to produce items and provide services more quickly, more accurately, and with fewer resources. For example, in the car industry, cars would traditionally have been produced by many people working on an assembly line. In contrast, in a modern factory, cars are mostly made using machines. This means these factories require only a small number of employees. How has technology improved efficiency? Technology has also vastly improved the efficiency of communication in businesses. Messages can now be sent very quickly to a large number of people with a reduced risk of barriers to communication. Common ways of communicating using technology include email, text messages, online chat, telephone calls, and online video communications. What is remote working? Remote working is where employees are able to work from home, or somewhere that is not the main working environment of their employer. This is because technology has enabled them to work at home in the same way they would in an office. Not all roles are able to take advantage of remote working. For example, police officers and retail workers usually cannot work from home. Remote working means that employees have more flexibility. They may not have to travel as far and are less likely to take time off because of sickness or be late. However, employees working remotely may not always work as hard, and they may not be able to seek help easily when required.